Ooh, hello and welcome back to another video. I'm super excited for this video. It is my biggest book haul yet. Super excited. I have them all sitting out here in front of me. I think these are books that I bought over the span of like 3 months, 2.5 or something like that. So I'm so excited. All right, we're just gonna dive right into it. I have them all separated by genre. So we have romance, historical fiction, mystery, thriller, fantasy, and dystopian sci-fi. All right, so we're gonna start with romance because that's actually the one that I have, no surprise there, the least amount of books in. We're gonna start out with I got Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the sequel to Better Than the Movies by obviously Lynn Painter, and it follows Wes and Liz, the two main characters from that book, as they head off to college and become adults and see what their life is like outside of high school. And then I got Just Friends by Haley Pham. Haley Pham is a fellow booktuber, a whole lot bigger than I am, and she wrote a romance book. This is a clean adult romance. I think it has some grief themes in it, and it's present past timelines. You get kind of like their past of their experiences together, the two main characters, Blair and Declan. So yeah, I think it's a second chance and childhood friends. So very excited for that. That is it in the romance book category. Now we will move on to the historical fiction category, which I actually think it's tied with fantasy. So tied and dystopian and sci-fi actually. So we got the historical fictions, starting off with The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. I have already read this book. I read it on Libby a while ago and I loved it. I actually don't fully remember what this book was about. I'm pretty positive it's about a girl named Jo, I can never remember her name, who wants to be a journalist. So she writes at night at an advice column, and then it becomes crazy popular. This is in like 1890 in Atlanta. And she also has to try and solve a mystery as well, of a mysterious murder. I actually couldn't fully remember the plot of this book, but I did really enjoy it. It was definitely one of my favorite historical fictions that I read when I was a bit on the younger side. And then I got Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a historical fiction told in the perspective of Aphrodite, as she tries to kind of... There's 4 main characters, Hazel, James, Aubrey, and Colette. And they all are like, their stories getting weaved by Aphrodite, which is the goddess of love, the Greek goddess of love. Yeah, I'm excited. I've heard good things about this book. And then we have The Book Thief, which is by Marcus Zuzak, which I thought this was a classic. And I think I actually don't fully know what this book's about. Not fully, but it doesn't exactly have... Oh, it's during the World War II in Nazi Germany. It takes place during that time period. That's all I can really tell you about this. I don't know a whole lot. By the way, I will pause here. A lot of these books, I'll let you know if I thrifted them. So to kind of... I bought these both at Target, as you can clearly tell by the sticker on them. I got this from Goodwill, and I got both of these from thrift books. I 10 out of 10 recommend using thrift books or Goodwill or like Salvation Army or whatever thrifting store you have, or your library. Actually, one of these I bought because I got it from the library and I wanted to own it physically. So, a 10 out of 10 recommend. I've actually bought 4 books from thrift books for $17, and one of those books was free because of a coupon. So, and then I got this at Goodwill Bins, and it's Rush Revere and the First Patriots by Rush Limburg. I actually don't know if I'm pronouncing it. I forget. This was my childhood. I loved these books as a kid. I love history, so I read a lot of it. Not as much anymore. I've gotten really into fantasy now that I've gotten older, but when I was little, like elementary school, I loved this book. It's about a history teacher who has a time-traveling horse, and he takes these students back in time to like a historical period. So this is before, like right before the Revolutionary War, or during the Revolutionary War, around that. So it's so good, and I love this. This is a great book. Recommend it to any kid that loves history but also wants like some fun aspect to it. The time travel is really cool. It reminds me of Adventures in Odyssey, but purely like American history. All right, and that's the end of the historical fiction books. Now going into my mysteries, or thrillers. I only have 3 of these, and I think only one of these we got somewhere really cheap, and I can't remember where. I just filmed a trailer for the podcast I will be starting in the summer with one of my friends, Cece Green. You've probably seen her in a previous Book Days vlog, and she got me The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. She introduced me to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I read in March, and I gave it 5 stars, loved it, so she's like, you're really gonna love this. This is a standalone by Holly Jackson, and I'm actually really excited. I don't exactly know what... Oh, it's about a girl's mom who disappears, and then 16 years prior. And then they're trying to figure out what happened to her, and then like they agree to do her family agrees to do a true crime documentary, and she can't wait for the filming to end, for like, I want life to go back to normal. But then her mom, Rachel Price, reappears. Okay, that is super interesting. I'm excited. And then I got this at Target. I got the Escape Games by Marissa Meyer and Tamara Moss. I love Marissa Meyer. And by the way, look at the look at the edges. Look at the edges. I don't think it has anything in the... It has like this inside, but it doesn't have anything for the dust jacket, which is so sad. But it's so beautiful, and I'm such a Marissa Meyer fan. I only own 3 of her books physically, which is the Renegades, but I have read quite a bit of it. I've read Cinder, I've read Heartless, and I would like to read this. This is about kids... Wait, I'm trying to remember. It's a TV show called The Escape Game, when, a contestant was found murdered on set. Now season 5 is underway, and new contestants already put their skills to the test to solve the show's trickiest escape rooms. It's basically a bunch of kids who go on a TV show to solve escape rooms, but, they're trying to, it's scary. I'm actually so excited for this, because Marissa Meyer is an incredible author. I love her so much. And then we have A Murder of Magpies by Judith Flanders. My mom found me this at a bin store and was like, oh, I thought you might like it. It's about a book editor okay, whoa. Oh, it's like someone who gets wrapped up in a conspiracy thing. Interesting. Some books I like going in so blind, especially if I didn't buy them personally. All right, now we're moving on to fantasy, which there are only 4 in this category. We have A Wrinkle in Time, which I bought this at an indie bookstore, and I've heard that this is a really interesting book. And I know it's about, like, traveling through different worlds. That's about all I know about it. And the back does not really give you a really good synopsis. So, yeah, that's A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. And then I also got this at an indie bookstore, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. This is a fantasy. I thought it was a historical fiction at first, but no. I think has inspiration from Asian mythology, I think. From what this has been on my to-be bought list for a really long time. I just don't remember why I put it on there. But I was like, oh yeah, I want to buy this. So it has... Whoa. Oh, it's about like the sea god. Ooh, interesting. Oh. They have to sacrifice a beautiful maiden to the sea in hopes to appease the sea god. and many believe that a certain girl will be that person. And our female main character, to save her brother, she throws herself into the water instead of this other girl. So because apparently this other girl is like her brother's beloved. Oh, and she goes to the spirit realm. Oh, that's actually so cool. I'm now remembering why I wanted to read this. Okay, and then these two can kind of go hand in hand. I got The Silmarillion and Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have read Lord of the Rings before. These were both, this was Thrift Books, this was an indie book bookstore. I've read Lord of the Rings, but I wanted to own it physically because I love Lord of the Rings. I love Tolkien. I do own The Hobbit, which is right there. And then I have never read The Silmarillion, which is a precursor to The Lord of the Rings, which basically means it takes place before The Lord of the Rings, like a prequel. But it's set primarily, it says it right here, in the first age of Middle-earth. It contains legends of the creation of the world and an account of the elder days. Remembered by Elrond and Galadriel and the Lord of the Rings, and the harrowing adventures of the Ents ages later with Frodo and the One Ring. That's actually, yeah, I'm so excited. And there's also the Tales of Middle-earth or something like that, and there's like Numenor and Middle-earth, so I'm actually really excited. And they match, they're like the same size, and it's so happy. I love it. And I love tiny books. I don't know why. They're so easy to port and portable. All right, now that's the end of fantasy. Now going into dystopian and sci-fi. I got 2 of these at Salvation Army, 1 of these at Thrift Books, and 1 of these at a indie bookstore. So we have Matched by Ali Condol? I don't know if that's an L or an I. Which I'm pretty sure this is... Oh, it's a love triangle. It's a love triangle where in the society, officials decide who you love, where you work, when you die. So it's very controlling, and then like there's so Matched, basically there's this matching like thing where they match you up with another person in the world and they decide who you marry basically and everything else. So that's that. And then I'm gonna put these 2 together because they're part of the same series. We have Legend by, I bought it used, okay? That was not my fault. Marie Lu, which I got this at the library in a previous video and decided to buy it physically because I really, really liked it. So this was on Thrift Books, and then I found, before I bought the first one on Thrift Books, the second one, Prodigy at Salvation Army. These basically follow 2 characters, Day and, why can I not remember her other name? June, as they kind of navigate their dystopian world and trying to figure out what the government is actually up to. Plus, there's some romance in here. So that's these. I've read the first one. I cannot wait to pick up the second one. And then the only sci-fi in this, which I bought in the indie bookstore, which I've already read, is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I loved this standalone that he wrote. It was really, really good. And I recommend this to anyone who doesn't know if they want to dive in. He's written a lot of series. He's written Percy Jackson. That's the biggest one you'll probably know. And I've had friends that I've wanted to introduce them to Percy Jackson, but I'm like, that's a big commitment to read those 5 books because you're going to want to continue it if you liked it, and that's a lot of books. As someone who's read a lot of them, it's a lot of books. So, and if you don't know if you'll like Rick Riordan's writing or not, I recommend Daughter of the Deep. It's a standalone. There's no other thing to it. It's just this. It's based off of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's really interesting, and it'll help you see if you actually would enjoy Rick Riordan's writing or not. So, yeah. That is all of the books that I bought recently. This is definitely my biggest book haul on this channel, for sure, to my recollection. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!